Do you like reading history? Do historical facts, stories of ancient civilizations, the kings, the kingdoms, do these things fascinate you or do you find them boring? Well, whether you like or even if you don't like history, stay tuned because today I will tell you about one history book which I believe everyone will like. Hello everyone, welcome once again to Books Wale Bhaiya. I am Abhishek. Before I start talking about the book, I hope you and your families are keeping absolutely safe. So as I mentioned, I'll talk about the history book which I strongly believe everyone will like. But before I start talking about the book, there is one very interesting fact about this book. This history book is not written by a trained historian, it's authored by an economist. I'm talking about Mr. Sanjeev Sanyal, who is currently the Principal Economic Advisor to the Government of India. He has written a number of books and today we are discussing about Land of the Seven Rivers, a history of India, a brief history of India's geography. Well, this is my favorite history book and I believe it's loved by many people. So what makes this book so special? So what makes this book actually special is Sanjeev's approach towards writing history. He has not focused on a particular event or a particular historical figure or personality. He has covered Indian history in entirety. He starts from the prehistoric era when various tectonic shifts took place on this landmass of Earth and shaped various geographic entities or continents as we know them today. After talking about the prehistory, he has moved to Delhi, wherein he gives us some very interesting information about Delhi. For example, how many of us know that the Aravalli Range is the oldest geological structure on Earth? And the Kamla Nehru Range in North Campus, also known as the Northern Range of Delhi, is the northernmost point of that. So I think before this, taking a stroll at the Kamla Nehru Range, we might never have realized they are walking on the oldest geological structure of Earth. He gives some more examples from Delhi. For example, in the Qutub Minar complex, the iron pillar as you know it carries inscriptions dedicated to Lord Vishnu. And these inscriptions, this pillar itself is estimated to be about probably 1,000 years old. And very interestingly, there is a similar pillar in the Firozshah Kotla complex. Once again, Delhiites, while watching a match at the Firozshah Kotla Stadium, would have been unaware that very near to the stadium is some great historical pillar. So it is this approach of telling about history through geographical features, through various places, which he has focused on this book. He has given the example of Matheran, a hill station near Mumbai. It is a particular point at Matheran from where if you can see remnants of volcanic explosions. And these explosions took place some 30 to 40,000 years back. In the present, there is a lot of history, only if you look at it carefully. Another thing he has dedicated several pages to is the Indus Valley Civilization. What is its significance? While we all know, basis research, that Indus Valley Civilization was a very advanced one, but he has discovered possible linkages between the Indus Valley Civilization and the Rig Veda. So were the Rig Vedas written during the period Indus Valley Civilization? There is a possibility, but yes, more research is going on this. Other than Indus Valley Civilization, he talks about the Saraswati River, which finds mention in our ancient scriptures, but there is no evidence of Saraswati today. So what the research currently suggests is that the Ghaggar River in Haryana is the most likely the Saraswati River of the ancient times. Other than Indus Valley Civilization, which is about some 1,000 of years back, he talks about some other interesting things as well. Talking further about the Indus Valley Civilization as Saraswati River, in fact, Sanjeev ji has devoted a lot of attention, a lot of space to the rivers. In fact, Sapta Sindhu, as India was known then, actually means land of the seven rivers, which is the title of this book. So there's a Saraswati River and there's several other rivers which are the tributaries, and he says that these tributaries, these rivers, this entire geography played a very important role in shaping India as we know it today. In fact, talking of this Indus Valley Civilization, he says that the most likely reason for the decline of the civilization was the Saraswati River drying up and other climatic changes. Well, we talk a lot about climate change today, but what we are talking of climate changes which took place some thousands of years ago. So isn't again, it looks like that history is what our present is. and vice versa. Other than the Saraswati civilization, he brings home the point. We all know that India was a very rich country some 500 or 1000 years back, and he mentions that about 1000 years back, India contributed close to 1/3 of the world GDP, and the key reason for that was that India traded heavily with other countries. Well, again, globalization is what we talk heavily about today, but a lot of globalization existed in India some 500 years back, and India has very special ports dedicated to that, to trade with other countries. He also mentions during that time about some 1500, in the year 1500 or so, a lot of Portuguese and other European travelers came to India. Well, we all know the British rule, but let's not forget that way before British rule, a lot of European players started coming into India, and again they shaped India in some way or the other. So through this book, I believe Sanjeev sir explains that yes, in the present day India, there is a lot of history which is to be discovered, to be understood. The past and the present are not very much different, they are certainly interlinked. There is a special chapter in this book, the last chapter, which is dedicated to the present day India, what India is today and what is the likely future. So you see, from prehistoric to our history to our present and our future, this book covers it all. The best thing about this book is that it's a very unbiased account of history. There's nothing like a left-wing history or a right-wing history in this book. It tells history as it is without any prejudice. As I said at the beginning, this is my favorite history book. Do read this book if you haven't. I'm sure you will fall in love with this book. Thank you very much for watching my video. If you liked, please give a thumbs up. Your comments and feedback are more than welcome. I'm giving an Amazon link to buy this book. Please note, if you buy using that link, I will be entitled to a small commission. Thank you very much and stay safe.